let's consider some of the best events that the LGBTQ plus community will celebrate. Black Excellence Stage and VIP Experience comes to 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride, June 14th. The 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival is set to take place on June 14, 2025 in Wilton Manors' iconic nightlife and entertainment district. Wilton Drive, named after New York's Stonewall Inn, the site of the 1969 riots, the Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival represents a pivotal moment in queer history and civil rights. For 25 years, this event has honored the legacy of Stonewall, celebrating pride and resilience within the LGBTQ plus community. The Black Excellence Stage at Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival is a permanent fixture of the event first introduced to the festival over 6 years ago. Since then, the stage has served as the feature stage of Stonewall Pride in the heart of the festival on 6th Avenue of Wilton Drive. 2 years ago, the lounge was made part of the experience, adding to the allure of the activation. All are welcome to the fun cultural experience. So yeah, 2 years ago, we added the lounge to it. 6 years ago, we added the stage to Stonewall Pride. I don't know if all of you been to Stonewall Pride, but it attracts over 50,000 people to Wilton Manors in Broward County.
And it continues to keep growing.
Yeah, it continues to keep growing, and the event is just a phenomenal event with the Black Excellence Stage as a prominent fixture within the event. Yeah, you know, that 6th Avenue area where the crossroads of Alibis and Drink and Extra and all the clubs that we come to know is where the stage normally is, you know, and to have representation in the heart of it all really means something, and to add a lounge to it where now you could be more intimate with the cultural experience of the Black Excellence community is kind of great to say. This is an experience that belongs to us, that we're sharing with our gay counterparts in terms of the LGBTQ plus community. You know, I don't know if any of you have gotten the opportunity to go to the lounge before, but it is produced by Anthony Wynn Entertainment, who is a prominent promoter in our community for the Black and Brown community for nightlife events and things of that nature. So if you are any familiar with that kind of experience that he provides, you know the lounge is lit, right? Right. Have any of you been? Or? Oh, okay, cool. Yes, definitely. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think we could only do better and better and better with what we achieve. And the fact that Stonewall Pride has given a space, and not only just a space, but a premier space for our community really speaks a lot, you know?
Do you think Trump's administration will have any damper on this year's celebration?
It's interesting that you bring that up because, you know, when it's hard to say because we already had a test of this already with not him being in the administration years prior, but actually our governor, and when they were trying to push drag queens out and using all this legislation and jargon to make it unacceptable and not tolerated, right? And so last year we had to kind of work in that environment, you know, and we were able to produce something that was equally fun and exciting as years prior, right? So it's like, hey, can it affect us? Yes. Do we have the mindset to build around it and understand how we can finagle and make sure that we build an experience that is uplifting, respectful, and downright loving and caring to our community, right? Because it's like, we can't deny the fact what Stonewall is, you know, and where it stems from. And although we're celebrating our victories, we're also recognizing our struggles and our history that got us to this point. And that is more evident now than before, because I think the roles are kind of changing, where it was all about celebration, and now it's like a reminder of how much we need to stay our foots on the ground and understand that we need to continue that.
Stonewall was started by a transgender woman,
Right.
Marsha P. Johnson. And now this administration has gone to the fact of taking the T out of LGBT, LGBT. So how are we going to recognize the trans community that actually started all this at the beginning? It was at the front of the line.
Right.
This is a celebration of Stonewall. How are we going to support our trans sisters?
Right. And that's something that we have to constantly consider, First and foremost, we know that we're not taking the tea out of anything. I'll definitely say that, but there's so much more to it. And that's a conversation that we have to have when we're planning it, that we have to understand that these are things that are part of the equation and will always be part of the equation, because that is what Stonewall represents. There would have been no riot if Marsha didn't throw that first brick properly, So how do we keep that understanding within our history and within Stonewall Pride, so that it's reminded that this isn't just about our community celebrating, but also understanding that there are vulnerable people and identities within our community that need that support, right? And then you add layers to that, the intersectionality of Black trans individuals, which is even more so scarce and being attacked, right? So it's like, and Marsha P. Johnson was a Black trans woman, So it's like these layers and intersectionalities mean so much. And it's important to ask those questions, because we don't want to skirt around it and say, 50,000 people come to this event, but we're not willing to put in the work to make sure our most vulnerable and the ones that are currently being attacked by whether it be this current administration or the government administration that we were dealing with last year, But I will say that it is a fine balance. And the reason why I say that is because your livelihoods are on the line.
Right.
Your freedom is on the line. And I say that because as producers of Stonewall Pride, there are elements where you can be arrested if you break laws. Laws have consequences. And if they put laws that are anti-LGBTQ plus, how do you continue to push that boundary without seeing your personal livelihood or your personal freedom taken away? Or are you that person and that organization to say, you know what, we're going to move past this, and regardless if it costs us our freedom or our livelihood, we're going to stand on the right side of history, And it's a choice that, if you were presented with it, you at the table, do you know what choice you would make in a split moment or a second, So it's really about finding that balance and understanding that you want to preserve the history and the culture that is LGBTQ plus in Stonewall, and also realize that it comes at a cost, or it might come at a cost if you go too far.
I want Stonewall to put more emphasis this year on the Black trans, because Black trans women life expectancy is 35, so since Marsha P. Johnson started it all, put more emphasis this year. That's what I'm recommending.
Right.
That, I could be on the cover with a brick.
And here you have it.
Oh, chocolate bar. Okay. Representing Marsha P. Johnson, because let's not forget,
Right.
So,
right. Right. Well, we do have a Stonewall Pride guide, so there's possibilities there, but I'll definitely keep that and bring that to the team and see what's possible, because definitely, again, we want to preserve that history. We want to make sure that we're being respectful to all individuals in our communities and the ones that really paved the way for us. And that's truly important.
Let's not forget,
Right. Definitely. So, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Parade and Street Festival on June 14th.